Pandavas, Kauravas. This is the choice. And the first story, the first person we talk about is a person who made both the choices. Yeah? And this starts right in the beginning of what is called the Udyoga Parva of Mahabharata, where a lot of activity, a lot of Udyoga is happening. And we are talking, of course, about Krishna. One day, after spending a lot of time in all sorts of ways to prevent the war, conversations with multiple people, tired, Krishna is sleeping in his bedchambers. There's a knock on the door. He doesn't wake up. A king walks in. This king is King Duryodhana. He comes and sits at the head of the king of Dwarka, Dwarkadhisha, Krishna. Krishna is still sleeping. Duryodhana is courteous. He does not wake him up. A little time passes. Another young prince in exile walks in, Arjuna. And he comes and sits there. These two are cousins, but they don't talk to each other. The time for talks in their minds has long passed. They barely make eye contact. They sit in silence for a while. And in due time, Krishna wakes up. And as is expected of a person who wakes, he wakes up, sits like this, and looks at his feet is Arjuna. And he says, "Yes, Arjuna, what do you want?" And from behind the voice comes, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, wait. I was here before him. You need to ask me what I came for." Krishna turns back and sees, there is Duryodhana. He's like, "Okay, what do you want?" And before he answers, Krishna himself says, "I know what both of you want. A war is afoot. Remember, the Shanti Sandhana, the suing for peace has not been done still. Duryodhana has not tried to capture Krishna yet. At this point, they're just trying to find more and more army for their side to fight on. So Krishna knows what they're here for, both of them. And he still asks. They both say, "We are here to ask for your support in the upcoming war." And Duryodhana says, "I came first. Therefore, you need to ask me. My choice." Krishna says, "Listen, I know the scriptures. I know how help is sought and how help is offered. So there is a part of the scripture that says, he who asks first gets help first. But then there is another aspect of scripture which tells me, he who is younger gets to have his ask heard first and fulfilled before the elder one can ask." Now, even in the choice to send Arjuna for this negotiation, this discussion, this seeking of help already plays a role. Duryodhana came himself, the king. Imagine what would have happened if Yudhishthira had come. The choice would now have gone to Duryodhana. Odds are he might still have picked what we know he will eventually pick, but all these small choices are already playing a role in it. Krishna says, "I'm going to give you the first choice. And since you're both my cousins, since you're both equally important for me, I am going to give you two choices. On this side is my entire army, my Narayani Sena. It's one Akshauhini size, about 2 lakh people. And on this side is me, all alone, unarmed, unwilling to fight. At best, I might take up the position of a charioteer. These are your choices. What do you want?" Arjuna. And here, Duryodhana is scared. Which person in his right mind would pick an individual unarmed and unwilling to fight where the alternative is a well-trained huge army? Turns out, it was his lucky day because Arjuna actually makes that choice. Arjuna says, "I didn't come here for your army. Well, it would have been nice if you came with the army yourself, but since you are making me to pick between these two, I'll take you. And behind, Duryodhana starts celebrating. That I'm so glad that he made the emotional choice and left the logic out of this, and therefore I get that army. Now, there are a lot of interpretations and writings on Mahabharata. Multiple interpretations say the war was decided in that moment. The rest of it is just description of what happened. The decision of who won and who lost was made in that one choice that Arjuna made, because as we will see at the very beginning of the war, when Arjuna, the one person who could have defeated all of Kaurava single-handedly, went into a depression, if he had chosen Narayani Sena, they couldn't have brought him back. It was this singular unarmed individual who gave him the message of Bhagavad Gita and revived him and made him ready to fight. But that's still a few months away. In this moment, as Duryodhana starts celebrating in his mind because he got the army, he also has a little bit of a self-doubt. He says, I don't understand why you will not fight. And now we leave the Vyasa Mahabharata and divert slightly into a Kannada version of this called Kumara Vyasa Bharata. If some of you have read Kannada, you might have heard of a Kumara Vyasa who has written this. And with all due respects to the original creator of the epic, I feel this one incident at least, Kumara Vyasa of Karnataka has captured better than the Veda Vyasa of Sanskrit. Duryodhana says, I don't understand why you will not fight. This makes no sense. We know you as one of the greatest warrior of our times. Why would you not fight? Maybe you're saying this now, and when the time comes, you will pick up your bow and arrow, you will pick up your Sudarshana Chakra, you start fighting, seeing you fight your Narayani Sena deserts me, comes and joins you, and I am left with neither you nor the army now. This looks like a trick. I don't understand it. Convince me that you will not fight. To which Krishna says, first of all, come in the front, my neck is hurting. Now that you're sitting here, let me tell you a story. The day I was born, the hour, the very minute of my birth would have been a death sentence if my uncle had found out. Somehow, in a storm, in a downpour, I escape and I am raised by cowherds. I am an infant, and a demoness called Putana comes to me and tries to feed me poisoned milk. In her breast, where I was looking for food and sustenance and life, I was given death. Somehow I survived that. A few days pass, I am now a toddler, and the toy Shakata that I am trying to play with, that turns out to be an Asura as well and tries to kill me. I grow a little older, I step out, Trinavarta, the tornado, tries to kill me. I am called Gopala because I take care of cows and calves, and Vatsasura, a demon in the form of a calf, tries to kill me. As days pass, this happens again and again and again. After Vatsa comes Baka, the bird. Then comes Agha, the serpent. Then comes Dhenuka, the donkey. Then comes Keshi, the horse. Then comes Kaliya, the multi-headed snake. All of these, including the very king of gods, Indra, they can't stand me and they have tried to kill me. This goes on for a while, and then I travel back to Mathura, end up killing a great warrior called Chanura. Then I end up killing my own uncle called Kamsa. And then I turn 11 years old. Now that I have killed Kamsa, my uncle, his father-in-law Jarasandha is not happy with me, and he keeps attacking me with his army, 21 times he attacks me, 21 times I rout them, but the body count in Mathura keeps piling up. I am tired of fighting. I go from there to Dwaraka, and what do people call me? They call me Ranachod, someone who ran away from a war. I ran away to protect my people. I go establish an entire different country on the banks of the ocean, and Jarasandha's relative Shalva starts attacking me. You, boys, have learned how to fight under the protection of Pitamaha Bhishma and the tutelage of Drona. I was tired of fighting by the time you were just picking up your bows. You don't understand what fighting means? Ask me. There is a point when you're tired. That Sudarshana Chakra, I don't know where I have kept it. Maybe it's got rust somewhere. If I spend the rest of my life never lifting a single weapon, I'll still be happy. I don't want to fight because I am tired of it. Do you now believe me, Duryodhana? And Duryodhana says, yes, I believe you now. And he walks away. At this point, Arjuna and Krishna are still in the room. Duryodhana's purpose is served. He's walked away, he's gone on to talk to Satyaki and Kritavarma and Balarama and others. But Arjuna is still here because he never came to collect armies. He came for Krishna. And Arjuna is asked by Krishna, are you really happy with this choice? Because this makes no logical sense that you picked me over my army. And he says, don't tell this to anyone, but secretly, for the longest time, I have been in a silent contest with you to see who can be the greatest warrior, who can be the greatest archer of all time. And with a Mahabharata-like war approaching, if you were also fighting, chances of me overtaking you were almost impossible. Now that you're not fighting, it's possible that I may exceed you in the number of people that I have defeated. So in multiple ways, I'm happy with this choice. And we see, for the first time, the two most important people in this war, Arjuna and Krishna, having a bit of a humorous moment in Mahabharata. There's not much humor in Mahabharata. It's a serious epic. There are small moments of levity here and there. This is one of those. Now